Hello you beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all well and still enjoying the hobby, of course. So whilst I'm showing you some detailed shots of some of the parts for the wheelbase on the wings, the main undercarriage and the nose gear, I thought I'd just wish you all a very happy new year. I hope you've all had an excellent Christmas, of course, if you celebrate it. And I hope Santa was very generous for you all and getting you all the modelling bits and pieces, etc. that you all wanted. So sorry it's been a bit of an absence for a while. Truth be known, the beginning of this year has been a bit of a rotter to me. In fact, it's been a big rotter. I lost 2 of my 3 doggies. So it's taken me quite a while to get back on the saddle, so to speak. Big part of my family. So anyway, moving on. Just showing you here the incredibly well detailed nose gear bay for the Zoukei-Mura 1/48 F-4EJ Phantom. So if you've been following on this build, which I'm sure you have been, you know we've got ourselves pretty much up to the point where the fuselage is all together, cockpit's in, wheelbase are done, and it's time to attach the wings and move forwards. So just showing you there that it was Mr. Hobby's #1 for the white. So before we put all the bits together for the wheelbase, using oil paints, I'm going to give it a bit of a weather up. So the oil paints are basically mixed, very heavily diluted with white spirits, because then it's easily adaptable, and I can sort of change bits around because it takes a while to dry, and also I can get rid of any excess, etc. But if you've been watching my other videos on the channel, you'll know this already. So using a brown colour, because I didn't want to go to black because I thought it would be a bit stark, so I went with a bit of a grimy brown colour just to sort of take starkness away, but just highlight the excellent details of the various parts for the wheelbase. Now you'll see that this bit has an attachment to the nose wheel bay door. Be careful with that one because it's quite fragile, and I may have broken it going down the build, but it's easily attachable again. But it's just something of note to be careful with. So working into the main nose bit, I'll get my words out today at some point, but working the wash into the nose wheel gear bay, allowing it the capillary action to just highlight all the wonderful details that are actually on this kit and just give it that well needed grimy look. There's no sort of real science to this. You can be as liberal as you like, make it as filthy as you like, or as clean as you like. You don't even have to do this. If you're after that factory fresh look, which some of you I'm sure are, nothing wrong with that, it's a great look, then you can bypass this doing this. So it's just slowly building up the layers of it and just allowing time to see how it looks. Because I didn't want to go too overboard with this. I see a lot of fabulous kits, really heavily weathered, but I'm not really going for that look with this build because the actual aircraft itself was kept quite clean as it was an anniversary scheme. But still, you know, obviously things get dirty when they fly. Just trying to add a little bit of realism, and again, the main sort of priority is highlighting the details. Just some final touches to that part there. And then another part of my arsenal is the Tamiya Weathering Master. They're not pastels, I'm not really sure what they are. I should have done my research on this one, but they're really, really good. Using the soot colour. And it's a different sort of technique. This one doesn't have capillary action, of course. It's more of a sort of dabbing it on, and you can create some nice streaking effects with this by just running the brush along like I will show you. So here it just points out and just gets rid of that sort of, what am I saying here, that sort of uniform white. And as you can see there, just using the brush to give a streak effect, just grimying it up. There's no sort of right or wrong answer to this. It's very much a personal thing. I see some, as I say, I see some aircraft heavily weathered and others are not. It's really down to you. And again, applying some of the soot to this part which attaches to the nose wheel bay door. So whilst I've got you, thank you ever so much for tuning in again. I really appreciate all your support. Nearly up there well, I've reached over 1,000. I'm on 1,200 subscribers now. Still blows my mind. It's incredible. Can't believe there's that many people that are willing to listen to my ramblings. But yeah, I can't thank you enough for all your support and for tuning in, and the people that messaged me, that where are you? You know, it's just great to know. So thank you ever so much. I can't thank you enough. So using a cotton bud or a Q-tip if you're from over the pond, I'm going up in vertical motions just to give it a slight streaking effect. It's not picked up massively well with the camera, but to the naked eye you can see it. But again, I didn't want to overdo it, and this also just gets rid of any residue that's left over, any pooling from the capillary action from the wash. Take your time with this. There's no need to rush, and just get it how you're happy. There you go. Pretty, you know, moderately dirty gear bay. So whilst I'm talking to subscribers, if you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It means the world to me, and I'm always very grateful for each and every one of you that does that. And those that don't, just thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. You can see there all the details are quite nicely highlighted with this simple wash. So next up, we have to build the walls of the, I would say, the main landing gear bays. These come in separate parts, but as you can see, it's got a little notch there on the top, and that actually slides in. It's like a jigsaw piece almost. You can't get it wrong. It slides into one spot only. Take your time with this bit. As you can see, it will eventually, well, I'm making a bit of a meal of it here. Nothing new there. It slots into place and you can't get it wrong. Then using the Tamiya quick drying thin cement, I can't recommend this enough, I must say. It's just a case of following the outline on the outside so we don't create any damage to the paint, and it doesn't seep through underneath as well and cause damage. Well, not damage, but make it look horrible. Just carefully run your brush along there, and the capillary action with the glue will do the rest, and it will get the part in place. I must say, some of the thought behind how this kit goes together has been absolutely fabulous. Not quite Tamiya standards, but I think judging anything by Tamiya standards is very unfair, to be honest. Zoukei-Mura have done a great job with this kit. I can't recommend it enough. If you're umming and ahhing about it, you know what, just do it. It's a great, great kit. And just forming a nice seal, which incidentally the paint has come out this way, which is kind of what I wanted. Just creating no gaps there for the, there we go, for the bays. Very happy with how that's come out. Again, fabulous details from Zoukei-Mura with this area of the kit. So next up, as you can see, I've already attached the top side of one side of the aircraft with the wings. Kind of like to do that just to get a feel for how the kit goes before I film it for you fine people. Has excellent, I'm struggling for words today, has excellent bits, sorry guys, excellent bits for attaching. It lines up perfectly. Yeah, sorry, struggling a bit for words today. All lines up lovely. I didn't want to bore you with the whole gluing process because it goes together so well. And what I was showing you there is paint that side of the fuselage in the same white because it forms part of the main undercarriage bay. So yeah, it's imperative that you do that. But the wings went together really, really well. And again, pointing out that bit to say be careful with that when you're attaching it. I was careful for most of the time, and then yeah, then I wasn't, and it has snapped off, but I will carefully glue that back on in due course when I feel it's safe to do so. So as you can see, this bottom part is quite a large slab of plastic. It basically forms most of the bottom of the actual kit. But again, the fit was excellent. There were a couple of minor issues, but nothing really that a tiny bit of filler isn't going to help. So I'm pointing out there that obviously those parts of the lower fuselage or the underside, get it round that. We'll call it a hook for a better phrase. Just get it round there because it does actually catch it. And then it really is a simple case of just lining it all up, making sure that you're happy before you go to glue. It takes a little bit of not fiddling, because I think that would be very harsh, just a bit of work just to line everything up, make sure it all clips together, which it really does really well. So we got that all attached. Again, didn't want to bore you with just showing pictures of me gluing those bits. I've kind of tried to keep this video relevant to parts that I think may help you with your build. So as you can see, Zoukei-Mura, for whatever reason, they've got some sink marks, well, release marks from where the sprue gets released from the press. So these in my opinion needed filling in. So I actually decided, instead of using putty to do that, I used some super glue. Okay, I've seen it done before on YouTube with other guys, because it doesn't shrink, and once it's dry you can sand it and you get a really lovely smooth finish. Some of these parts are visible, some aren't, but I wasn't going to risk it. Once it all goes together, you being able to see a sink mark, for want of a better phrase. So I thought I'd best just get this right and fill them in and show you guys how I did it as well. Some other people throw talc in it as well, just to make it extra hard. It's not something that's really fazed me that much, but each to their own. So whilst we let the super glue go dry, I decided, using PVA glue, that it would be a good time to just pop the canopy on so I can protect it from spray, because we are going to move forwards and start spraying this beast soon. And then I decided, by the way, for the sharp-eyed of you, I hope you've noticed, I've gone to a black work surface now, because I think it shows things up a little bit better. Let me know your thoughts and feedback on that. I thought it's a little bit better than the white. So using the PVA glue, which I have semi-conveniently splodged on there, but I wasn't happy with myself over that, just using a toothpick to apply the glue on there. Now the reason why I use PVA glue is A, you can remove this again later with great ease, it sticks it enough, and B, I always stick my canopies down with PVA glue because it doesn't fog them up. Okay, I've found that lots of other glues fog my canopies up. Now there may be tricks and tricks of the trade around this. I haven't found them yet, so this works for me. So it's all taped down nicely now. We're still waiting. I still sort of left the intakes and the sanding for later on. It was onto the iconic upturned wingtips that all F4s have, and make the aircraft just look so beautiful and unique. I love it. So again, I've already done one, so I could get a feel for how things go, so that I didn't foul it up in front of your good selves, and I could show you accurately what I did. And to be fair, this is really simple. It just fits together so beautifully well. Look at that. It needs a little bit of, make sure you get your angle right sort of thing, but you can't really go wrong. And again, using the extra thin cement by Tamiya, the quick setting, it's just a case of pushing it to and allowing it to set. Now there are a few little tiny gaps on here. I've got to figure out what I want to do with that and how to get it right. But again, I'll just get some putty, run it through, and I'll show you how I did that in the next video. Excuse the slightly wobbly hands. I'm not gifted with these hands that I guess all you guys have and some of these other YouTubers have, where they're just rock steady. I just don't have it in the locker. So we go, that's progress so far. She's starting to come together and look good. I'm sure you will all agree. So, onto some paint. I've already primed it, so I'm actually using MRP US Dark Ghost Grey, which is the correct colour for the top side of the aircraft. This is the first time I've used this paint, and I've got to say, it sprays superbly. It really is excellent stuff. And as you can tell, it sprays on really well. Honestly, this is the most disheartening part of the kit's build so far, because it's pretty much the same colour as the plastic and the primer, so yeah, a little bit disheartening, but there we go. And I'm spraying these areas incidentally, and this is quite important because this is behind the intake, and I wanted to get it nicely sprayed so that when I put the intakes over, there isn't any sort of mottling where the wind or the spray sort of catches in the grooves and things like that. So I thought I'd get a nice flat smooth spray at this point. I haven't sprayed the whole top because the beauty of MRP is it's pre-mixed for you. Yes, I know it's a little bit cheaty, but this paint is pre-mixed for you, pre-thinned, etc, etc, so I can't get the colour really wrong, so I thought I'd do half of it now, get the parts that are vital done, including the inside of the intakes as well, which I haven't shown you because you don't need to see that, I'm just telling you now. Okay, so actually I do show you. You can tell I haven't watched the video before I've done the narration over the top. I do apologise, you found me out. So as you can see, I flattened out all those sink marks, and what was interesting is the insides of the intake also have those sink marks, and I think you can actually just about see those up where the right intake is with the R on it. You could see it just there. You can see it, but it's not visible once you painted over it. I got them nice and smooth, and with how dark it is, etc., it wasn't visible, which I was quite happy about. So now it's putting the intakes together. Again, not going to bore you with this too much because it's pretty simple, straightforward stuff. Get the inside in like so, and I can assure you, you don't see the sink marks. I was quite happy about that, to be honest. I'm a bit of a stickler for that. And again, excellent quality from Zoukei-Mura. Look how beautiful that looks. It just goes together so well. Honestly, it almost falls together. I almost feel like a bit of a fraud saying I'm a model kit maker. Honestly, I swear to God, it almost does it for you. So just a case of pressing this together. Again, allowing the glue to do its capillary action and just holding it together. And it takes a couple of moments, but there we go. Very nice looking intake. Very happy with that. So what I did here is I laid it flat on the surface there, just to make sure it is exactly flat for when I attach it to the side of the aircraft. And again, already did one just to make sure I got everything correct before I went live. And what you have to do is line that that point up that's sticking up to the inside of the intake. So a little bit of glue there, and then it's just a case of a little wiggling around, because it is quite a nice snug fit. I've sped this up for viewer pleasure, and just a case of manipulating it into place. And then that attachment point slots nicely into the hole that's provided very kindly by Zoukei-Mura, and it goes together beautifully. So just clamping it together there, using the extra thin cement to attach it to the fuselage like so. Again, wobbly hands. Honestly, I don't know why that is. It's terrible. I don't even drink caffeine. And there we go. Coming together beautifully. I just feel now we're starting to turn the corner with this kit. She's starting to look like the beast that she is. And it's a bit more exciting, isn't it? Starting to get to maybe paint, get the undercarriage done, get the exhausts put into place. You know, it all starts from this point onwards. She just starts to take shape really quickly. So as you can see, there's a little bit of gaps on this side. Could be due to, well, it probably is due to my building error. Don't stress yourselves over it. A little bit of putty in there and you won't be able to tell. So, with a minute left, I just want to say thank you ever so much for lasting 18 minutes of my ramblings. It's great to be back. It's great to be showing you guys what I've done. So here we are. This is her, looking beautiful now, starting to look like an F4. We've got a long way to go yet, but I hope you've really enjoyed the series so far. I promise you I won't keep it this long until the next episode, because things are starting to move along quite quickly now. So I just want to say thank you ever so much once again for tuning in, for reaching out to me, for saying hello, asking where the devil I am. I hope this has been to your satisfaction. So until next time, everybody, enjoy the hobby and have fun. Take care of yourselves.